Hey guys, and welcome back to the Franchise Tagged Podcast Season 3, Episode 9. We were gone last week. I'm so sorry. I had a family thingy to do, so unable to record. That is entirely on me. Not Elijah's fault at all this time. But
This time, damn.
well, the last time it was.
Yeah.
And this
Damn,
time it was my fault.
We didn't need to
And
assign blame.
Now we're even.
All right, carrying on.
Now we're even. Anyways, we are available wherever you get your podcasts. That is, whether that's Spotify, Apple, Amazon. Shout out some more because I don't know the others.
Outcast, Overcast. That's the one I was thinking of. There's probably
Sure,
one called
sounds-
Outcast. We might not be on it.
Probably not, but we're on a lot of them. So let us know if we're not on your preferred podcasting source, and we'll be sure to get on there. But we are going to get started with this Week 11 recap, starting off with Thursday night football, Jets and Patriots, getting into some of the Sunday games, then Monday night, and then our segment video, continuation of last week's, which was a quarterback draft we draft quarterback attributes and then build the perfect quarterback. We're going to do that with running backs this week, so super fun. Stick around for that, for sure. And let's get into Thursday night. This is my game to talk about. My team. My boys won. Honestly, not as dominant of a victory as I had expected, but,
Win is a win is a
double-digit
win.
point victory is a double-digit point victory in the NFL, and a divisional matchup is never assured. So I'm absolutely thrilled with the outcome, even if it wasn't, 42-0, which is what I had hoped for going into the game.
Yeah, it's
I think,
pretty straightforward matchup. I mean, easy win for them, and unfortunately, it led to Justin Fields being yet again benched. It's such a weird thing because through the years we've seen the ups and downs of this for Justin Fields. It still just doesn't really ever feel like it's necessarily his fault. Like, I don't imagine Tyrod Taylor's going to go in and then they're going to win some games. I think it's just going to be more of the same. He's not been a great starter. He's been kind of this guy that you would expect to play that bridge role for a team, and he's played it well. They're getting good draft stock, especially with the fire sale they had. But yeah, it's just kind of a situation that I don't think is good for any quarterback, and so putting in a below average starter quarterback wasn't ever going to really amount to a lot of wins, but it hurts my field leaver heart, my innards.
yeah, I mean, he's been given opportunities, but they have not been good opportunities. He was kind of hoed in Pittsburgh, and I say kind of hoed. He was extremely hoed in Pittsburgh. And then, Bears and Jets are two of the worst organizations as far as QB development. So I don't think it's entirely his fault. Like you said, I feel like the Theo Ash thumbnail, it's not his fault with the picture of Justin Herbert. And it's just been, I'm sure you haven't seen this, but it's just been remixed with every other quarterback who it's not his fault. So there was a CJ Stroud one when they started sucking because their O-line. There's a Trevor Lawrence one. There's just countless. Like, it's not his fault.
Any excuse you can make for any quarterback along the way, I imagine.
Yeah. And unfortunately, it just looks like his time as a starter in the league is over. Maybe, he's been on the Jets now. So
Vikings is an open option.
Vikings is the place to go, and be good, So maybe that happens. That'd be exciting if he was able to be good on the Vikings and have a couple good receivers to throw to. But I just don't see that happening. And the other thing that was an outcome of this game is Milton Williams heading to IR for the Patriots. So he's out 4 to 6 weeks with I believe a knee injury. So that's rough. But he'll be back for our playoff push, which I think we're pretty safely in the playoffs. Not clinched yet, but it'd be hard.
Winning record is hard to
playoffs.
miss. Yeah.
Yeah. What is it? 9-2 or 10?
9-2 right now.
9-2.
The 9 wins immediately puts you over 500. So yeah, it'd be tough to. All of the things that would need to happen, exceedingly rare for them to lose out, and then everybody else lap them. The other thing from this game. Travion Henderson scored 3 touchdowns. We have a very specific video calling for Ramondre to not get as many snaps as he does because they have Travion, and who knows if they kept limiting his snaps, and then with Ramondre's injury, we're forced to let him go, but, let him loose because, it's such a difficult scheme to understand, and only the most veteran of running backs can effectively run through open gaps. But Travion Henderson, man, I'm glad to have him in fantasy and that I didn't let you get him.
I'm still so pissed about that, dude. Like,
Hey,
I'm
I dropped
unironically
Kyle
unhappy
Williams.
about
All right,
that.
you have him.
Right, cool. Drop the receiver who has 2 catches on the year. Yeah, Travion's good. He's going to get benched this week. Like, he's not starting this next week.
And it's unfortunate.
Because Ramondre's coming back. But again, it's you joke about the scheme being difficult, but that's a historic thing with McDaniel's offenses. Rookie running backs have never gotten starts, whether that's because it's too difficult or because he just doesn't like rookie running backs. I think it's more of the pass blocking and what he wants the running backs to do in the pass game as far as high level blocking, running routes, and getting open when they need to, being a safety blanket. That's what the Patriots have always done. They were kind of the pioneers of the receiving back in a way, with Shane Vereen, with Danny Woodhead, with all these guys that were kind of the first guys to be more receiving threats than rushing threats at running back. And Ramondre is not that. He's a bruiser. He's a power running back, but he's not a rookie. And I know McDaniels likes his veterans more than his rookies at the running back position. And for whatever reason that is, it's not going to change because Travion is fast. It's going to be Ramondre back in the lineup when he's healthy, and
Fumbling
that is for better or worse. Yeah, he's before he got hurt, he had a couple good games. It really wasn't that extreme this year. It was worse than it should be, but it wasn't like he was fumbling multiple times every game. I think he had like 5 fumbles in 8 games, which is a lot. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like.
I don't recall it because it was a while ago, but we do have a whole video on it. We kind of analyze stats of other players who fumbled as frequently as him and what happened to their careers and how long they were given those opportunities. And as a spoiler, it wasn't this long. But we can move off of the Thursday night game, kind of a handed win, and then we'll move on to another one that was kind of handedly won, but more so in the fourth quarter than anywhere else, and that was the Buccaneers at Bills game. Going into it, it's kind of gotten to this point with the Buccaneers where, like, they're a competitive team. They're going to be competing in all of these teams, and even if they have to rely on Baker Mayfield late in the game to go and win it, there's kind of this belief that, oh yeah, there's a good chance that'll happen. Now, it feels like a couple of things with the Buccaneers, at least like stood out to me. Late in the game, there was a punt, and I think it was like 4th and 2. And in my eyes, I was looking at it, and I was thinking, with the amount of time left, and with the current score, maybe you do go for that. I would have liked to have seen it. They were on like their own 40, so it's like, okay, maybe this is just the Dan Campbell in my brain. But I feel like with the way the game was going, where it was just back and forth, you don't want to give them that opportunity. Because, at least in my eyes, okay, the defense isn't holding them when they have a full field. So go for this, because then if you don't hold them, their drive's going to be a lot shorter. Like, that's just how my brain is looking at it, especially because at that point in time, Buffalo had the lead. So it's not like you're punting away with the lead thinking, okay, our defense can stop them and then we can, salt this away. It was punting off to Buffalo and then Buffalo already having the lead. So then they're already in milk clock mode. So, just looking at it, and I was like, I wonder what the analytics say at this point of like punting, because I feel like one thing that's popped up a lot more on broadcast is like, projected possessions left in the game. And I was like, I feel punting here that you're not going to have enough projected possessions. Like, at this point in time, you're already down a score, and then giving them the opportunity to then make that 2 scores, and then lo and behold, it did become 2 scores, and then there was a fumble by Baker to kind of right when we thought Baker would, turn it on, get that fourth quarter comeback going in him. It was the fumble, and then that was kind of the game for him.
Yeah, and that fumble, I mean, I'm not saying the fumble was out of desperation, but I do think that if they had gone for that fourth down, gotten it, scored there, tied the game up, and then only been down one score, they probably would have been less obligated to drop back and pass every single play. So, any number of mentality changes could have changed the outcome of that game. But I will say that was, and this is not necessarily a slight to Josh Allen, but it was basically the worst 6 touchdown performance I have ever watched a quarterback put up. Like, he made some of the most boneheaded, dumb, stupid throws and decisions that I've ever seen a quarterback make. And it was like rookie Josh Allen mistakes.
2 interceptions.
Like, it was shit he was
One of
pulling
them
his
was
rookie year.
rough.
That it was that like chest pass. Yeah. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, I get it. I get that you're in the end zone. You need to get the ball out of there. Throw it at his feet. Don't make a play there. That's desperation. Getting an incompletion, staying alive, running the next play. That's not chest pass to the receiver to get yards. That's throw it in the dirt, because you're not going to accurately chest pass a football. It's just not going to happen. I don't care who you are. And it's just like, it's the little things that Josh Allen does that I'm like, he's not bad. He's a great quarterback. He's easily one of the most talented in the league, and he showed that through almost the entire game. But he also showed that he has a voice in his head. One of the little guys on his shoulder is not all there. He's not giving him the best advice. And it's fun to watch from the outside, but if I was a Bills fan, I would kind of understand why we keep losing to the Chiefs in the playoffs when it matters most, because you can't do that against a team that is perfect. And the Bucks, they've got Baker, who also has a little bit of that drunk guy telling him what to do, and the drunk guy is actually just Baker.
The drunk guy dingling like the keys. You're like, I got it, man.
Yeah, that's Baker anytime he drops back to pass. But no, there's just a couple moments every game where I feel like Josh Allen has one of those mistakes, and some of the times those mistakes wind up costing them the game, and they lose to the Dolphins. And sometimes it's just one of the drives, and they've got plenty of other ones to score on. So it's a mixed bag, which Josh Allen you're going to get for the entire game. And I just, like I said, 6 touchdown performance, insane.
Yeah,
he absolutely carried the Bills to that victory. That was all him.
However,
but it
you have James Cook,
like a 6 touchdown performance. Yeah, that too.
Like,
you're not.
He didn't need to run all of those.
Player, your second best player,
as someone said, greedy. Greedy quarterback.
That someone was you, I think.
Actually. No. That was Jacob.
Oh, okay.
His greed sickens me. Rushing.
We can move off. Mm-hmm. We can move off that Bills game. I said my piece about the worst 6 touchdown performance I've ever watched, and we can move into this Chiefs and Broncos game, which put the Chiefs at 5-5. I didn't actually catch much of this game, but I just did I wanted to put it on here because it puts us in a weird position of now thinking, do the Chiefs make the playoffs? They're in that position now where they're 500. They're not looking like the most dominant team in the AFC. They're not looking like the most dominant team in their division. They're looking better than the Chargers. I'll give them that, but they are not looking like as good as the Broncos somehow.
Yeah, and the weird thing about it is heading into this season, and then even looking at the talent Mahomes has had past seasons where they made it to Super Bowls, this is a way more talented roster. Like this, and then Kelsey's even conditioned himself more in the summer, so he's just doing better by November than he did last year. It's just like the way that they were winning. I don't know if it was last season or the season before. It was last season, right, when they started the week 1. It was Ravens, and his toe was too big. All of these one-score games, and then you look at their games this year, and in any game decided by one score, they have lost. So they're winning big, or they are losing close ones, and that's just not really the Kansas City Chief mantra. I'm pretty sure they were it was 17-0 Like they had a 17 win streak when a game was decided by one score, heading into this season, and then they immediately dropped that week 1 versus the Chargers. So you have a team that's just like fundamentally, it's probably just like the luck aspect of football. Like the ball would always bounce their way. And now it's just ever so slightly, the luck has petered off. Someone's not doing, Taylor Swift and Brittany Mahomes are not staying up to date on their rituals, but they're just losing the close ones. And that's exactly what this one was. I mean, going into halftime, it was like, okay, this game kind of sucks. And then both teams found a rhythm in the third quarter to get the ball rolling. Now, that said, there was the interception from Mahomes, and that was in the red zone. Big swing there in terms of you could have had points and then you didn't, and then you end up losing by 3. So you had at least 3 guaranteed points, throw an interception. Now that's a wash. But yeah, basically they're losing the close ones. I don't doubt that they'll make playoffs because, I mean, looking at it, they do have a rough slate coming up. They got the Colts next week, another team with barely any losses like the Broncos, which I will say, with our few weeks off that we've had, here and there, I haven't paid as close attention to like the league-wide football standings, and I was like, wait, the Broncos are 8-2? What? And then, yeah, now they're
Broncos,
9-2.
Patriots, and Colts, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Broncos, Patriots, and Colts.
As everyone predicted preseason. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
I definitely didn't say the Colts would be the worst team in the league. That was not me. If you heard it, It was AI. I promise.
Deep faked. We put enough videos out where, our face moves in such ways. Definitely enough to train an algorithm on. I'm not endorsing it.
If it was uploaded to the official franchise tag channel, no, it wasn't. Anyways. Yeah, this is just I don't doubt that the Chiefs will make playoffs either. I just worry that I worry that it's possible they don't. And I'm not confident in them not making playoffs, but it's if they lose next week, they'll be 5-6, and then it's an uphill battle, and they basically have to win out with how strong the AFC typically is. Mm-hmm. So, because we've got Patriots, Colts, Broncos as teams that would have more than 10 wins, most likely.
Yeah.
Bills probably will. And then I'm not looking at the AFC offensive standings, or at the AFC standings, but like
Chargers are
somebody's got to
at 7 wins too.
Somebody's got to win the South, so that's another one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's the Colts. My bad. I'm just so used to the South being so
true. Yeah.
Dog water. What's the North? Somebody's got to win the North.
Steelers.
The Steelers. Yeah. The Steelers are in the lead there.
Yeah, they're in the lead by 1, and with Aaron Rodgers' injury, we'll see what goes there. But I'm not doubting.
They could really use a guy like Justin Fields.
I'm not doubting the Ravens to make a push there, but escaping
with this week's performance from Lamar,
escaping the broad standings perspective. Yeah, I think the Chiefs do have a rough road ahead in terms of schedule. I mean, they're only like quote unquote gimme is the Titans. They luckily play Titans and Texans, so there's hope there. But that's 2 out of Colts, Chargers, Broncos. Both of those are division. Cowboys. It's gonna be rough sledding, but I think if they make playoffs, then it's gonna be the same old where you can't count them out of anything. But right now they gotta make playoffs. So moving off of that, AFC West matchup, we'll go ahead and get into an NFC matchup, kind of the a measuring stick game for both teams. It was the Eagles and the Lions. The Eagles who still showed that they don't have an offensive identity whatsoever, no matter how many times they tried to force the ball to A.J. Brown.
Well, the problem is they don't have a quarterback who can throw the ball, which is kind of a prerequisite of throwing the ball. So
yeah, you'd imagine.
When you don't have that in your bag, it's kind of hard to throw it to your best receiver. I think he's gone in the offseason. I think he demands out in the offseason. I really do. He's been unhappy for the past couple of years, and he's a guy that, if you're winning Super Bowls, he's probably going to be happy and stick around, but it doesn't look like they're strong enough to win a Super Bowl this time around. So I don't know. Maybe they are. Maybe they do turn things on, but they've won games, but they haven't sold me yet this year.
Yeah.
And this one obviously was overshadowed by the dog shit DPI call on the last drive, or DPI call on the Eagles' last drive. That let them get the first down and just kneel the game out. That was not DPI. That was properly called out by the broadcast. I was happy enough to see, and Rock Yassine's reaction to that was just that was genuine, just heart wrenching. He was pointing at the ref like, "I know you got money on this," like some shit like that. I'm sure is what he said, but that was outrageous. That's one of the worst DPI calls I've seen. To put that next to like the Saints Rams no call and say that one of those was called DPI
and the other wasn't. Yeah.
It's like you'd really think that it's pretty obvious which was and wasn't called, but it's just one of those things where it's the inconsistency of the referees in the league. It's the inconsistencies league wide of having different ref crews, of having different definitions of rules, and then of having rules that are up to interpretation. And it's something that needs to be fixed, but there is no way to fix it. So you have horrific games that games that end in horrific ways decided by little dudes running around in black and white that say, yeah, he touched him. And then, well, he didn't, but you said he did. So that's the game. And that just can't happen.
Yeah. I think this game definitely wasn't a great quarterback performance for either side, but I will say, I feel like the Goff's performance it looks worse than it was. Like, when you look at completion percentage, worst of his career. When you look at the fact he was 1 touchdown, 1 interception, you'd think, oh wow, this was a pretty rough game for him. But 1 interception was off of a batted pass, so it's like, okay, who knows where the ball was going. I will say, it feels like Goff has, I think, like 4 interceptions on the year, and I feel like at least 2 or 3 of them have been batted at the line and then picked off, like just one of the throws that isn't really his fault. It's not like, oh, I made the wrong read and someone hawked it. It's just literally unlucky, bounced off someone's helmet here, went right to this guy. And then on the other side of things, worst completion percentage of his career. But Amon-Ra was targeted 12 times and had 2 catches. And that was the biggest issue to me. It's not that, it looks like Jared Goff can't seem to get anything going. And while we were missing Sam Laporta, who's like that other guy that he goes to get himself like really firing on all cylinders, Amon-Ra's the main guy for that. And when Amon-Ra's kind of off of his game that much, where he's getting all of the targets you would want him to get, and it's just drop, or like some of these are low passes, but when Goff's under all the fire that he was, like the pressure rate was insane versus the Eagles and versus the Vikings. So, teams are figuring out how you get pressure on the Lions, because I think of our 2 guards with the stump blocks that a lot of teams are running on us, kind of just goes unblocked or picked up late. So it's just a lot more pressure on Goff. And then you look at it and you see, okay, the pass was 5 inches too short or 5 inches too far out. And so these wide receivers' hands are getting on it, but they're not able to, really clasp it the way they would if it was perfect accuracy. And so it's the kind of catch that you would like to see the guy of the offense make, making the catches that aren't perfect. So with Amon-Ra, all of those drops, it is tough, but Quinyon Mitchell did a great job covering him most of the game and kept him quiet. So shout out to Quinyon, but man, I gotta say, against that depleted of a defense, Eagles only put up 16. I feel like it says more about the Eagles than like just their continued crap offense.
I will say this was the best the Eagles defense has looked all year to me. I haven't watched every Eagles game, but I do feel like they've taken a step back from last year and years past. So this was the best their defense has looked to me in a while. And subsequently, also by far the worst I have ever seen Jared Goff look. Mm-hmm. You say it wasn't like The stats don't tell the whole story, and his game wasn't as bad as the stats show, but it was pretty bad, and he looked pretty bad the whole game, to me at least. He was like, Amon-Ra was not doing him any favors at all, don't get me wrong, but he was missing throws consistently. He was throwing low, and he was constantly under pressure, and that's the reason for it, but it was still not a great game from him, whether his fault or not. But do you have anything to say about Monday Night Football? Because if not, we can skip right on past it. The Cowboys walked into town and dominated.
Yeah, the Cowboys walked into town and dominated. I think that about sums it up. Yeah, nothing really more to note there.
Yay! Raiders suck and the Patriots lost to them. Anyways, all you people that are here for the podcast, I'm about to intro this like a regular YouTube video because this is our segment video, which we do upload like a standard YouTube video. And with all of that out of the way, we can start kicking things off here in 3, 2, 1. Let's build the perfect NFL running back. So last week we did this with NFL quarterbacks, or 2 weeks ago rather. And basically what we do is we have 5 attributes listed here, and we're going to go ahead and draft different running backs and put them in each category to build a Frankenstein's monster of sorts with these running backs. And like the last time, we do have a list of banned players. So these are the top 5-ish at their position that we are not allowed to pick from. And that list is in no particular order: Jonathan Taylor, Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson, Saquon Barkley, and Christian McCaffrey. So we are not allowed to draft any of those 5 players for these 5 traits, but we can get into things by kicking things off with rock, paper, scissors. Or do you want to go because you picked first last time? I'll pick first this time.
Honestly, I didn't remember who picked first last time, but I like rock, paper, scissors as the default deciding factor. All right, getting it in frame. Rock on shoot.
Rock, paper. Yep.
Rock, paper,
rock,
scissors.
paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper. Oh, rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Yes, okay. Victory.
All right. You go first again.
I'll take it first. And right off the back, I feel like I'm looking at the list of the players that are banned here, and there's one guy that's really good that I really want to make sure I get. And I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take his speed. I'm going to take Devon A-Chain.
That was the guy that I was looking at taking. I was probably going to go his receiving just because I think he's a little bit better of a receiver than any other running back, obviously other than CMC. But to follow that up, I'm going to take the speed of my boy Travion Henderson, because I don't know that there's much faster backs in the league than him.
All right. And then it's a snake draft, so you do get to double up here.
I do. And this is probably ill-advised to do. Actually, let me think real quick. I was going to do something. I'm going to think before I act. I'm going to try a new thing here.
Wow. Never before seen, guys. As a heads up.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the moves of Bucky Irving.
Okay.
I don't know that his moves are like that insane, but I genuinely don't know anybody other than Bijan and Saquon with like that crazy of moves that like they'd be worthy of being drafted for that. And I just want Bucky because he is I think he's bordering on a top 5 running back when he's healthy.
The player I have is quite honestly a viable option for all of these. I think I am going to go with moves here. The way he will just dance, like a run between the tackles. Hell, it could be just HB dive going straight behind the center. And the way that he can just dance, skitter, I'm going James Cook for my moves.
That's fair.
The elusiveness
he was
is
available.
insane.
I'm not going to lie. Yeah.
And then
that's a fair shout.
As a guy that's doubling up here, I mean, there's I want to lean power. That's what I'm really feeling. And you know what? I'll give the shout out. I'm gonna go Ashton Genty. There's a couple of good power backs there, but I'll go with the young Ashton Genty as opposed to some other guys that I won't name until you pick your power.
Yeah. I've got one in mind for power. Um, I think I'm gonna go with the. I'm looking through the list of running backs right now. Just a list of running backs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
And
kind of. I pull one up as well, just to.
I know who I want for power, but I don't think he's one of your shouts. So, I mean, he's on IR right now, so I'm not going to pick him. But Cam Scattaboo for power would be fucking nuts.
True.
I mean, I could go like, pretty standard. I think. Well, no, he actually has had some fumbling issues. I'm going to go with the carrying of Kyron Williams. He's just somebody
Yeah.
I don't think ever has had a big fumbling problem, and he's not a bad running back. So I'm going to just take his carrying. I think he's been pretty consistent. And then I'm going to leave power for last, I think, just because there's so many options. So I'm going to take
Mm-hmm.
receiving here. And looking at things, I think I'm just going to do it. He's a bit older now, and his receiving is nothing like it once was. But I think if we're taking the speed and power out of things, I think his actual receiving upside is still very much there, and that's Alvin Kamara. So I'm
True.
going to take
Yeah.
Alvin Kamara's receiving, and I assume that includes route running and all of
Mm-hmm.
that,
Yeah.
because that's just receiving. And I think he does still have that as far as, he's also a volume receiver, so he has good hands, and that's kind of the main thing that I want to take as a receiving component.
Yeah. I'm thinking of power, or I'm thinking of receiving here as well. Carrying's kind of the. I don't know. I feel like if you name a starting running back that isn't Ramondre Stevenson, carrying's a pretty good, shot there. So receiving's gonna get my attention here.
Well, you're taking both, so you could pick carrying
Yes.
first if you want to.
Yes, but I'm not even worrying about carrying right now. I feel like it's kind of like a toss up here, because you could say his receiving is in part due to the other aspects of his game, but I think he does a good job catching the ball out of the backfield, and that's going to be Brees Hall.
That was another name that I had considered for receiving for sure. He is definitely very good at that.
And then, man, such a shame you took Kyron's carrying, because that is legit just a great little shout.
It's like I don't know that he's the best carrying guy ever. I'm not like I don't have the stats to back it up, but I'm like he's not the most explosive runner. I know he's not the fastest because he gets caught all the fucking time when he's running downfield. So it's got to be that he's good at pass blocking and carrying, and that's kind of the staples for starting running backs.
Mm-hmm. Who would I feel? Trying to think about like. I feel like
I still can't
memory
believe I missed
wise,
James Cook, man.
I feel like Javonte Williams has had fumbling issues in the past. Rico Dowdle, I don't know that much about, but I like him, so I'm gonna go Rico Dowdle.
That's fair. That's a fair shout. I did see him, and I was like, he's a pretty good running back, but I have not watched enough Panthers games to know why he's getting these like 200-yard games. So I'm still kicking myself for missing James Cook. So I forgot that he was available and that he was in the league and good at things. But
Good at things. Good at most things.
for power, I'm gonna go with the guy that I had thought of from the start. If it was a couple years ago, I would probably have gone Derrick Henry. But if it was a couple years ago, he probably would have been on the banned list. And
Yeah.
just so y'all know, the guy that I said, ooh, I could go him for carrying, and then realized he's had fumbling issues. That was Derrick Henry because he has fumbled quite a few times. But the guy I'm going to go for power is going to be Travion Henderson's college teammate, Quinshon Judkins.
Nice. That's solid. Yeah.
So a couple rookie shout outs we've got here.
Yeah.
And I feel like that works with running back shelf lives in the NFL. You kind of want the youngest guys possible. So we've got, I think Bucky is a second or third year player in the league, and then Judkins, Henderson.
Reese might be the oldest
JT.
here, and he's like,
Kamara,
HA.
but
True.
but
Yeah,
other than
I was
that-
looking at my team.
True.
Like Dowdle, Brees, and HA are probably all the same age. And then I got the little two younger guys. I like both of our teams, honestly. Both of our players.
I honestly don't think there's. I think they're very different. picks,
Yeah.
but I don't think there's that one is just blatantly better than the other. I think if one is better, it's probably yours just because I forgot about James Cook and you got
Yeah, I swooped
basically
in on
first and
James
second
Cook.
pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Brees Hall's
I think
also
it
a
was
really good back that you snagged. I'm just looking at like the caliber of running back. I think you drafted higher caliber players, and I
Yeah.
drafted more
And
specialized
that
skill
was the
set
case
guys.
for the quarterback one as well, where you went with like, I think you said it in the video of, oh, I picked people that are bad but are good at one thing, and I picked them for that
Yeah,
one thing, and I picked guys that are good and picked their best trait, in my eyes, because Devon A. Train, yeah, could have been receiving as well, but I preferred him for the speed. Although
yeah.
I could have
You
been
could have
crazy
gone
and put
James
him
Cook
at,
speed.
yeah, I could have put Devon A. Chain at receiving, got James Cook's power or moves still, and then put like Velus Jones at speed, just something really,
Yeah.
really
Raheem
broken.
Mostert or somebody like just random that just happens to be fast.
Yeah, those third string guys that are insane. But
Yeah.
I like all of
Isaac
my picks.
Garendo, shout out. He's pretty fast.
True. Yeah, I can't name a winner off of these two lists. I can't lie. But
Yeah, so
very
I'm
happy.
gonna leave that up to the viewers. So if y'all are watching this, if you think one of us did significantly better than the other, if you have a thought down in the comments of somebody we didn't draft that we should have for a specific spot, then definitely let us know, and drop your own running back builds if you have them down in the comments, and we can kind of transition out of this and back into the standard podcast. So, and we are back. So thank y'all for watching that segment video. Again, full podcast drops tomorrow at noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. So go ahead and check that out when that drops. This is just a small clip or segment from that full overall podcast. So definitely be sure to check it out. And with that, we'll get right back into things. So
Yeah.
segment over. We just have some week 12 games to highlight, and we can kind of talk a little more in depth just because we're low on time as far as like
Yeah.
how long we've been going. We've not been recording for that long. Let me pull up some of the games for this week.
Yeah, we got Thursday night football, Bills and Texans. Texans at 5-5, Bills 7-3. Did just have a dominant performance for the Bills, and the Texans are just gonna consistently be the team that's like trying to hang in there off of the back of CJ Stroud and that defense. With Texans hosting, it's hard to ever really root against the Bills, especially when it's like, they're a team that is usually the one that hosts the really raucous environment. I don't see the Texans at 5-5 pulling out and coming and doing all of that. And yeah, pause. I heard it too.
I was just gonna move right past it. I was gonna let the comments get you, but
I didn't want to. I had to call it out so they couldn't.
that's fair. Fair enough.
So in this matchup, I would lean Bills. Hard to not. But man, Texans, they're sneaky. I feel like this could definitely be one of those games that the Bills drop randomly. Cough, cough,
Yeah.
Dolphins.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. They never seem to have a finger on the pulse of when they're supposed to win and when they're not. But I'm also leaning Bills in that one pretty heavily. The other games, the Sunday games that I think are interesting, at least, I think Vikings Packers is just a very interesting test of teams that we have no clue if they're good or not. The Packers keep dropping games that they should not, and the Vikings, they got 9 back there at quarterback. I don't know if you've seen that, but
No.
so JJ McCarthy, oh God, I can't.
was gonna-
It's so weird having a chronically offline
Yeah.
co-host that just doesn't understand the football stuff. But JJ McCarthy was in an interview, and he was like, this was 3 weeks ago, I want to say 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he basically said he has a alternate personality when he goes onto the
Turns into
field.
9.
And when he goes onto the field, he turns into 9.
Nice.
And 9's got to go out there and do his thing. And as soon as that clip came up, that was after his first game back, which was decent. And people were like, if he has a single bad game, this is going to fry him. Like, people are going to fry him with this. And he's looked like dog shit since then. So on the tweet that I sent you that said all the Vikings need to do is cut JJ McCarthy
Label him
so
a bust.
he turns into a bust, and then pick him back up so that Kevin O'Connell can fix him. One of the responses is they could just cut 9 and keep JJ McCarthy and they'd be fine.
That's good.
But that's a game that I think we're going to see for sure if the Vikings are looking for a new quarterback in the offseason, which I think they already will be, whether that's Kyler Murray, whether that's Justin Fields, whether that's whoever else the Jets might have. Tyrod Taylor, you know?
Yeah, you threw out the mobile names, but Kevin O'Connell doesn't feel like he would shift the scheme to be mobile quarterback-esque. You know what I mean?
That's fair. I'm just thinking of the guys that will be available for sure, which are those two. So
makes sense.
Yeah.
But what other matchups do we got? I mean, we got the other primetime matchup, and then we got the Chiefs with theirs, because there's just extra pressure on them being 5-5 now. Like, it's against Colts. It's against one of the top teams, and so hard. At least they're hosting, I'd say. You know, Arrowhead's environment is going to prove difficult. But, you know, something about the Colts has just been firing on all cylinders outside of the way that Daniel Jones has been coughing up the ball in the past 2 games. But, you know, I feel like the Chiefs... Do the Chiefs even really generate takeaways this year? I feel like they really haven't.
I feel like they haven't either. That's not something that I feel like is their calling card, you know?
Yeah, that's not what I meant, but anyways.
But I will say, Jonathan Taylor has been absolutely cooking, and Chris Jones has been slacking his ass off. So that's a game that I think if Chris Jones doesn't want to show up for,
he won't.
Jonathan Taylor will prove why the Chiefs should have taken him instead of Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So, real thing that happened. CEH 32nd pick, Jonathan Taylor 40th pick. Same draft, something like that. I don't know if he was 40th, but yeah.
I didn't even think of... I don't remember when
NFL draft
Taylor was taken. But yeah, Clyde Edwards-Helaire was not a great pick by Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, 2020 draft, 32nd pick, CEH, 41st pick. Sorry, Jonathan Taylor.
Okay. So you were right there.
Yeah. Well, I was off. I'm sorry, off by one pick. That's my
better.
You know who else the Chiefs could have had? This is complete tangent, but you know who else they could have had? T. Higgins. They could have had T. Higgins. They could have had Jonathan Taylor. They could have had...
Hey man, the LSU running back was too good to pass up, I guess.
There's a pretty good 4-pick stretch.
I found my
stat
from
50 to 53.
the Chiefs.
Jalen Johnson, Trayvon Diggs, Cam Akers, Jalen Hurts as a solid 4. I mean, Cam Akers, not as good as advertised once, but anyways,
draft Jalen Hurts.
Stat.
Yeah. The stat I found is they're 24th out of defenses for takeaways per game. So, yeah, not their MO. We'll see if that tide changes versus the Colts, but I'm going to take the Colts because, firing on all cylinders. Yeah. Even when they're having Daniel Jones revert back into just, giveaway Jones.
Danny Dimes.
True. Indiana Jones.
He's Indiana Jones now. Yeah. He turns back into Danny Dimes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We just don't want to see him turn into 9.
Oh Lord, that'd be something, man. Is he gonna shrink a little bit, or is he gonna just put on a jersey that's number 9? Or
he's gonna just start wearing. How does that work? He's gonna get the baby voice from the Bleacher Report. You know what I'm talking about? The rookie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna get a baby voice. Let's see. What other good games do we got coming up? Titans. They play.
Mentioned you said good game. Sorry, the other primetime game you mentioned, Bucks at Rams on Sunday night. Yeah. That's going to be a good one for sure. That's a team that's hot in the Rams going against a team that's been hot in the past in the Bucks, and I think they're getting Bucky Irving back this week. Hopefully, he's been out for a good few weeks, and Sean Tucker's been much better than Rashad White. Let me tell you. So I don't know if you're keeping up with your Tampa Bay running back drama, but boy, Sean Tucker's so much better than Rashad White. Oh my goodness. Because I have Bucky in fantasy. This is another little tangent.
Yeah, we're just tangenting.
We're just yapping at the end of this recording. This is fun. We should
yap more.
We should section out 20 minutes for yapping a little bit more. But I've got Bucky in fantasy, and he got hurt, and so I threw him on my IR slot, and I grabbed Rashad White and started him because, of course, Rashad is the RB2. He's right behind Bucky, and so he was projected like 15 points, and I was like, I don't love Rashad White, but I need something, so I guess I'll use Bucky's replacement this week. The Bucks are hot going into a winnable game, and he didn't really do anything. And then Bucky was supposed to come back after that 1 week absence, and so I dropped Rashad White, and then Bucky was out again, and I was like, you know what? I'm going back to the well. It was dry the first time, but man, maybe it rained. It had not rained, spoiler. And I dropped Rashad White again. And the third time, I was looking at him, and I was like, Bucky's out again. I could go Rashad White again. I didn't. I went Chase Brown, which is a slightly better option. But I looked at Rashad White, and I was like, you know what? I think Sean Tucker's going to do much better. So I left him there, and I was correct. Sean Tucker got the touchdowns, and Rashad White did jack shit. So that's
that tangent
Rashad
over.
White hate train. Yeah.
Now, with that tangent over, I've got the Rams to win this one. I mean, Stafford's on fire, and
No, he is. If he wasn't Stat Padford, like historically, I would have him a lot higher in my MVP rankings, but because I know he's always able to throw for 40 touchdowns. He's always doing it.
And he somehow
it just doesn't move me.
Never gets a vote. But yeah.
Yeah. Drake my number one. Yippee.
Yippee, he says.
I think he's second to Josh Allen now in betting odds after that game. He was first for a minute, unironically.
Mm-hmm. He was.
So that's cool to see. Love to see Drake May doing well and performing well after all the slander he got his rookie year. Well, it was mostly after the draft. When people were like, well, Drake May was supposed to be the second best quarterback in this class for a while. And then a 25-year-old Jaden Daniels comes in, and you're like, ooh, I love this guy. And
they didn't
Drake
start
May's still
Drake
23.
May, so.
Yeah. So he must be worse than Jacoby Brissett. And, oh, boy,
Surely.
did Jacoby Brissett look awful. Let me tell you.
He was just protecting him from the offensive line play.
Oh, my God, he was. And then Drake May's hurting himself. So the Patriots are really high this year on the sacks allowed numbers. I don't know if you've noticed that, but also a majority of their sacks are 1 to 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage because Drake will step up and he'll start scrambling, or like he'll notice the pocket's breaking down and he'll step up instead of like scrambling backwards, that he doesn't take a 20-yard sack or have to throw it away. He just takes like a 2-yard sack. Or he scrambles to the outside and runs out of bounds, but a yard behind the line of scrimmage, and that counts as a sack. So
yeesh.
That's why the sack numbers are so inflated. But
yeah, no kidding. I'm looking at the sack numbers. Sacked more than Geno Smith, Jackson Dart, Jacoby Brissett, Spencer Rattler.
Well, Spencer Rattler's not been in every game. So
no,
he was benched for Tyler Shuck. But
sack percentage is the stat.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, no, it is an absurd number, but he says it in post game interviews. Obviously, he's not going to call out his offensive line. We're 9-2. There's no need to like call people out. But he says it himself. He's like, I take sacks. That's if I'm behind the line of scrimmage, I'm gonna step out of bounds if I'm scrambling to the end instead of throwing in completion. I'm gonna take that 1 yard loss out of bounds, and that counts on the stat sheet as a sack, and it's credited to the closest offender, I think. So it's not necessarily that he has the worst offensive line in the league, but he does have a young offensive line, and he's also not got the best playmakers in the league. His receivers are not bad by any means, but they're not like it's not one of the top units. So he does have to do a lot of work himself, and it does hurt him in that sack stat. But doing all that still MVP talks, so clearly not that bad.
Can't knock it. Most certainly cannot knock it.
What are the Lions up to this week? Is it their
it's Giants. So it's nothing no. It's nothing that needs attention.
Until Jameis Winston throws for 400 yards, 6 touchdowns, 7 interceptions on you.
I don't know. I will say, despite the lack of a starting DB, our backup DBs have been going schizo. They've been absolutely insane.
Rock Yassin is good.
Yeah, he
like
is.
Rock Yassin is a good DB. I recognized him when he got cut from the Colts. I was like, bro, he was good. What are we doing? Like, he was a guy that it was in Madden 20. We had a franchise. I took over the Colts, and Rock Yassin was like he won Depoy in Madden. Obviously, that's not like real life, but started from some starting point of him being good, and evolved into that, and like. You know, he's not a bad corner. And on the other side, who was it on the other side?
Millette, maybe? Like, you mean this past game? Or what do you mean?
Yeah. I thought I recognized the other name at DB, but maybe not.
Harper, Millette, Branch was out there, but I'm searching through the recesses of my mind. I'm seeing the name you would know.
Because it wasn't Amik Robertson, right?
It was. He was out there, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's
right.
the name that I recognized then. But yeah, I mean, the Lions defense has depth. They've got good backups. They've got a strong unit, and they've got a good scheme as well that they're running. So
unfortunately, we know because we've had to see it.
yeah. You've had to see your 12th man go out there on defense, and by 12th man, I mean the 12th backup. So, yeah, is there any other games that we need to discuss? Any good games coming up? I say good. Steelers and Bears is an interesting litmus test for some teams that are winning records, but
we'll see what
maybe not the most convincing winning records.
Yeah, we'll have to see with Aaron Rodgers' injury if that
and then
keeps him out or what.
Eagles Cowboys is another one. Cowboys are not doing great this year. I did not realize their record was as bad as it is, but the Eagles are not looking great either. And strong defense versus strong offense, and then weak defense versus weak offense. I'm curious to see how that pans out.
Yeah, one that I'm excited to watch because it'll be my first opportunity to watch a full Panthers game is going to be that Monday night game. Panthers and San Francisco, especially because I only got to see the games early in the year where the Panthers didn't look good whatsoever. So, a T-Mac 2 TD game. I will say, Bryce exited the game. I haven't seen any injury updates on him, so that would be my concern. But he's got till Monday. It's more time than.
He is not even questionable. He's active, so
cool.
I don't know if that was just a we're winning, let's keep him out, or what happened there, but
yeah.
Because they did win, right? Oh, they won an OT.
Yeah, I was going to say, you say that, but it was overtime.
Nobody else took a snap.
Broke a franchise record. Oh, I could have swore I saw something about him exiting the game. I mean, I know I saw Penix leave.
Nobody threw a pass other than him in the game. He was 31 of 45, 450 yards. Jesus Christ.
No. Broke the franchise record for yards that was set by Cam.
Damn. How about Cam Newton, man? Bad takes. He doesn't like Drake May, so.
How about short quarterbacks leading the Panthers to success?
Shout out Justin Madrano. All right.
And with that, I think we've rambled
for long enough. If y'all have enjoyed this kind of just unstructured rambling, I really did during recording. I'm going to leave it all in, and we're just going to see how it does. But I feel like that's the best kind of football talk, is when you're just kind of yapping about random shit, and it works. So let us know if you enjoyed that. If you want more of that, we'll try to
branch into more
else faster so that we can do that, show our personalities a little bit more, because that's what you watch for. Of course, you don't watch for the football stuff. You watch for us.
You don't watch to see my perfect takes on Lions football. Which, do want to, while we're rambling, while we're still here,
Yep.
Completely missed the opportunity to talk about it the past couple of weeks. Dan Campbell play calling is so much better. There, that's my soapbox.
Can you turn into a palm tree as I outro the video?
Yes.
Cool.
Now, as y'all didn't see the intro to this may be confusing, but due to the fact I have a palm tree on my shirt, I became a palm tree, such as.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed, drop a like, leave a comment. Tell us
There's
more.
pick'ems in the description. We didn't talk about that whatsoever.
Oh, there are pick'ems in the description.
If you made
we
it
don't
this
do pick'ems
far,
in the videos anymore.
join the
but if you
pick'ems.
made it this far, for sure, join the pick'ems. Compete against us. Thank you, Palm Tree. And with all of that said, we will see you guys next week. Deuces.